Hello, in this video I'll talk to you about my notes from yesterday. My mother she received a phone call or something, and it said something like, you have been approved for living with the old folks building for the last 10 or 15 years now. And my mother said, oh, great, great, great. And then the spouse said to me, your mother, Daniel, is leaving and abandoning us. And Daniel said, or I said, yes, she has done that to me 100 times. Like one time, we had the child care, and my mother used to sit out front and smoke cigarettes. And then she used to flick them, boom, all the way to the street. So, after about a week of this, I asked her to go pick them up. So, instead of doing that, she moved out to an apartment building where she had to pay $800 a month. So she got her roommate from Miami or from New Jersey, well, from Miami, but they were staying with their grandchildren or their children, grown children in New Jersey. And then my mother said, all she wants to do is use my car. And she doesn't put gas in it. And just to go buy cigarettes. And so they didn't work out as roommates. So her friend moved back to Miami, and then my mother had another roommate, but then another old woman. The old woman didn't like it because she was living with her son and the wife, and then her son had caught photos of his wife with some other man on the family computer. And even she had found out about it, even the mother-in-law. So she just couldn't stand the wife of her son for committing adultery. So her son stayed with the wife. And so she just couldn't take it. And then, of course, she had to share the house with the father of the father-in-law of her son. You know, it's like when you out. He's another old man, and he was one of those that used to walk back and forth up they had stairs, up and down the stairs, back and forth, and she just sat there and looked at him. And would you believe that irritates people? Because this guy, he wouldn't go for like you see some old people, they go for a walk around the neighborhood. He wouldn't do that. He would go back up the stairs, down the stairs. He would be back. And this old woman says she couldn't take it. And then she mentioned how she was going to go back to her daughter in New York, even though she didn't like her daughter either, because her daughter slept with a dog and a cat, and her daughter was obese, and her daughter was never going to get married because she was tired of waiting. And the only reason she had moved down to be with her son was because she wanted to be with the grandkids. But she said that the grandkids are different. They're just so different. And I know what she means. The kids are disrespectful. It's like there is no. We have a very individualistic society here in the United States. The children are like, what do you want? You know, what do you want? You know, and where there's supposed to be a love connection between grandparents and grandkids, it's actually missing, because even the neighbor said that he had found out that people didn't like his grandpa. And finally he found out that the reason why, his grandpa would lie to him about have some tea. What was it? No, it wasn't tea. Oh, he asked his grandpa, what is this? And he said, that's dessert. And it wasn't dessert. It was a little moist, like a towel, most towel, like the ones from the airplanes that started out, and now everybody has those baby wipes type things, but those tiny ones from the restaurant. He said that was not dessert. So he began to question, his grandpa. My own stepdad here, he used to shake his pockets, and you could hear the coins. And then I would tell him, please don't do that, because that's what they do for prostitutes. So I don't want my daughter to dance for you just because you have coins in your pocket. Now, of course, he didn't mean it in that way, but he didn't mean it like my daughter's a prostitute. She was 5 years old at the time. But he used to shake his pockets with coins. What's in here? What's in here? Can you tell me what's in here? That's for you. That's wrong. And then he would say things like, I'm gonna give you a whipping. And now at the time we had the child care, and I said, please don't repeat that either, because the children will repeat it to their parents, and then the parents will call the cops that we're saying we're gonna give them a whipping. And so basically every couple of hours I would tell them, don't do this, don't do that, even simple stuff like he would say, take this to the kitchen. Oh, they're not allowed in the kitchen, Bob. They're not allowed in the kitchen because they could burn themselves on the stove or something. So they're not allowed in the kitchen. I mean, if that had been done to me, I would say, oh my goodness, there's nothing I can do. But some people, they're very hard-headed. They don't understand. I went to a church, and there was a boy playing with a girl's doll, and the old woman there that was supposed to be babysitting the kids got upset and yanked it from him. And she said, no, you don't do that. That's for girls. And since we were at the church, I know she hasn't been to the child care classes, because nowadays they tell you if a boy grabs a doll or a girl grabs a little soldier or grabs a little car, you don't snatch it from them. You let them play with it. You have to be tolerant of children that are homosexual or different. Just at that age, they're just different. Or they could be heterosexual, but it doesn't matter. At that age, you don't snatch a Barbie doll from a boy, all right? You don't. And you don't take a little car from a girl. So that was really rough. But let's go back onto this. Oh, yes, spouse, she has left me and abandoned me 100 times. You see, spouse, she wants servants. My mother wants servants. And both of my kids disobey her or don't help her when she calls them. And she calls them 3 or 4 times and they still don't answer her. Besides, my mother says you and the daughter invite her to the mall only because she pays at the restaurant. Now, Daniel, says the spouse, the kids are disobedient because you taught them to be disobedient. When I used to tell them something, you used to say, don't be rude to the kids. They are United States citizens. Which by that I meant don't hit the kids, not that the kids, well, I got in it. Every time she was correcting the kids, I would stop her because she did it the wrong way. She would yell and scream, and I said, no, talk to them, explain to them. Please don't slam the door. Whatever. That would be like Mr. Rogers explaining to her. But if it's your spouse, Mr. Rogers can explain it to little kids, how to behave and how to act. But Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But it's a TV show. He's dead now. But you cannot explain things to your spouse because she'll just say you are. Oh boy, here she comes. Talk to you later.